Grand Rapids Community College, which is Michigan's oldest two-year institution, has received state and national acclaim. We have been designated as an AQIP Vanguard College and have earned the distinction of the Michigan Quality Award winner. We are also a candidate for the prestigious Malcolm Baldrige Award. We are clearly strategically poised as a vital college involved in a community that holds a promise for the state of Michigan. Dr. May, in a 20-minute presentation, could you please convey how your leadership can inspire continuous quality improvement, create a community of high-level learners necessary to meet the needs of West Michigan, and be a catalyst for economic recovery in the state? How will you promote employee engagement in this process? Dr. May.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today. I'm very encouraged to be a finalist here at Grand Rapids Community College. I've had just a wonderful stay so far. Coming in yesterday, the JW Marriott is phenomenal. My wife and I came in. We had a wonderful tour of the city, and I knew today would be a fairly exhaustive day, starting at 7:15 in the morning, and going all the way probably to about 8 o'clock tonight. Had a wonderful dinner with the Board of Trustees last night. My wife and I did, and I'm just very, very appreciative of being selected as a finalist for your fine institution. I'm going to give you just a very brief background on myself, and then I'm going to launch into the answering the questions directly that's been presented. I'm a 1972 graduate of Indiana University with a BS in business management. Started right after went to college on Indiana on a football scholarship, and really had two full-time jobs: a full-time college football player, a full-time student in the business school there, because it was the #1 undergraduate school of business in the United States at the time. Harvard had the #2 school. But going on from there, after I graduated, I took a job with Roadway Express Incorporated. I had a management degree, but I had also had some courses in transportation. And one of my professors there, who was on the board of directors of Yellow Freight, a competitor of Roadway Express, who I ultimately worked for 15 years. So ended up working 15 years from Indianapolis to Toledo to Saginaw to the Pontiac area, where my wife and family and I currently reside in Rochester Hills. Along the way, I thought that I really wanted to be a director of that company at some point. But in talking to some of the directors of the company, it wasn't uncommon for them to have 18 to 20 moves throughout the entirety of their career. I said, wow, Gordon, I would like to have some upward mobility without continually relocating. So I started looking outside. And I came to Oakland Community College, first teaching in the business department, principles of business management, because that was my background, and then ultimately opening the initial Pontiac Center for Oakland Community College, in extension to the Auburn Hills campus, a very largest campus, about 8,700 students, and different opportunities presented themselves. I was the interim dean at 2 of the 5 campuses, one of which I'm now president of. I've served as president for 6 years, and so all in all, 21 years with Oakland Community College. So I made a mid-career switch from the private to the public sector. Have never really looked back. I've been, as I mentioned, the interim dean. I had the opportunity to be the interim president of the Auburn Hills campus, which is home to 8,700 students, which is the largest campus in our system, and 25,000 students total over the 5 campuses. But the Auburn Hills campus is larger. It's larger than about half of the 28 community colleges in the state of Michigan. And the Highland Lakes campus, which I currently preside over in half for the last 6 years, with 5,300 students, is larger than 8 of the 28 community colleges in the state of Michigan. And figures documented by the activities classification structure that we get on an annual basis from the Department of Labor and Economic Development for the state. And most recently, I've had another experience, and that is of being a teacher. And I'm currently teaching in a PhD program, educational leadership program at Oakland University. That's a long story that I won't get into right now, but it's a small seminar class, about only 6 students, 4 of which are PhD track, 2 of whom are in their last course, the last course of the coursework. Then they'll launch into the qualifying exams, the comprehensive exams, if you will, and on to the dissertation. And 2 are postdoctorate. So I've been really appreciative of being on that side of the classroom again, because it had been a long time since my adjunct faculty days prior to coming to work for Oakland Community College. I'm very much appreciative of being a finalist here. Grand Rapids Community College is just a quality institution. Every person that I've met, everything that I have read, everything that I have seen so far just leads to quality, renders itself to quality here at Grand Rapids Community College. I applaud the College Board of Trustees, administration, and staff for its outstanding record in academic excellence and community leadership. I'm very aware, having read up a lot on Grand Rapids Community College, I'm very well aware of the AQUIP Vanguard College Award that you all received. I'm very aware of the Michigan Quality Award, the only community college in the state that's having that award bestowed. And the candidate, I read through with interest the application for the Malcolm Baldrige Award, that around 60 pages application that you just applied for in May of this year. And it read like an institutional self-study, so I learned a lot about the institution in reading through that. So I applaud all of you. What I'd like to do now to really get into that question, I thought about the Rater values, and I like to go down through the Rater values and then impart some of my thinking on the question that was put before me. Responsiveness, the first R. Grand Rapids Community College must be flexible enough to respond to community needs in a timely manner. I would encourage faculty and staff to look for opportunities to enhance institutional effectiveness. Considering the downturn in the region's economic base due to the loss of thousands of jobs, and in the state of Michigan, 400,000 manufacturing, Grand Rapids Community College must be Western Michigan's answer to higher education, workforce, and economic development. GRCC must write and secure grants to fill defined and data-informed community needs. The college must continue being a liberal arts institution, creating a community of high-level learners, transferring to senior institutions for bachelor's and degrees beyond to meet the needs of Western Michigan. I'm certain that Grand Rapids Community College, like Oakland Community College transfer students, do better academically at the senior institutions in which they transfer to than the native students do at their institutions. And we hear at Oakland Community College, we hear from some senior institutions. Not many will dare say that the transfer students do better academically than their students that start at native students starting at the freshman level. GRCC must be at the table when Kent and Ottawa County issues and prospective plans are discussed as a precursor to setting long-term directions for the region. Accountability. GRCC must maintain institutional accreditation and accreditation required for specific programs like nursing, allied health profession programs. I know that the college is divided into 2 arenas, that of the arts and sciences, 13 disciplines, and that of the workforce development, 17 areas of study through there for certificate and degrees where you can go right into and be employed. The college must remain accountable to the community, who through property taxes are significant stakeholders who ensure the institution remains fiscally and operationally sound. I have a lot of experience in millage campaigns at Oakland Community College, and time won't permit me today to get into that, but I think that some skills that I would bring to the table would definitely help the college here to secure that millage that you went after and was unsuccessful by a mere 373 votes. That's a very, very narrow marginal loss. So the idea would be to work with the community, find out where the pockets are that were not supportive of the institution, and see how the college can further outreach into those communities to make some programs and services available to bring those populations closer to the college and be more supportive of the college in so doing. GRCC must review job market analysis to ensure its workforce development and occupational program graduates are highly employable. In a world forever changed by Enron, WorldCom, and others, the GRCC President CEO must be fiscally knowledgeable in budgetary and in GASB processes, General Accounting Standards Board processes, in order to confidently sign off on mandated audits. Innovation. GRCC must develop some of the most innovative minds in Michigan. The Western Michigan is counting on you. Grand Rapids Community College students must evolve into critical thinkers. Innovative thinking led me to one of my proudest moments in my 21 years in higher education, and that being the millage campaign. I was basically responsible for the Pontiac area of 28 28 voting districts, school districts, back in 1995. I was working in downtown Pontiac, so my responsibility was to get the Pontiac vote. Well, when we first went out for a millage, we were unsuccessful because we really thought our image in the community would lead to a successful vote. It did not. The community said no by a very narrow margin. So then the whole college came together, galvanized ourselves, and really delved into what a millage campaign is all about. So I ended up meeting with the mayor of the city of Pontiac, and he gave me the authority to send a letter to every employee of the city of Pontiac, about 1,500 employees at the time. When they got their paychecks, they got a letter from me. Not saying vote yes, you can't advocate in that way, but saying what when the vote is coming up and what the college has meant to the community. And I met with the superintendent of Pontiac. Hence, every paycheck for the 1,500 employees of the city of Pontiac, full-time and part-time, when they receive their paychecks, they received a letter from me. The largest human service agency we had in the area, ditto. The letters that went out to all of their clients had a letter from me to advocate the millage. Make a long story short, Pontiac of the 28 school districts came in. The college won the millage election with 60 to 40 vote. Pontiac had the highest vote, yes vote of 78%, and a senior citizen center right in downtown Pontiac that I affiliated with well before a need to call on to be friends of the college for a millage. I was their speaker at several activities, several dinner events, and they are a precinct in and of itself. It's called the Bowen Senior Citizen Center, and then the 600 seniors in the Golden Opportunity Club are very active in the community, and they were a precinct in and of themselves, and the largest yes vote precinct for Oakland Community College throughout the entirety of Oakland County was from that precinct, 84% yes vote. So that and more I think I could bring to bear at Grand Rapids Community College in support of the next millage campaign, and put a lot of more millions of dollars on the table for the community college. Is that back on? Thanks. Okay, can I just set this here? Diversity. The Grand Rapids Community College faculty and staff should look like the communities they serve. At first blush, the college has done well in this area, with minorities representing approximately 21% of the full-time faculty and staff. Diversity translates into institutional effectiveness. I chaired years ago the Pontiac Area Urban League and board of directors for many years. I represented the college on the Birmingham Bloomfield Task Force on Race Relations. Interestingly, once we truly get to know each other, we find that there's more things to unite us than there are to divide us. Excellence, another rater value. This value is already evidenced to a high degree at Grand Rapids Community College with all the excellence and quality awards received, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and now awaiting word on the very prestigious Malcolm Baldridge Award. Good luck to you. Regardless of whether I get this position or not, I'm going to be watching with interest and really hoping and pulling for you all. I have a competitive spirit and a very intentional drive to be the best. Persistence makes the impossible possible, the possible likely, and the likely definite. I am a persistent person. I hope you all are persistent as well. Respectfulness. When the broader community is facing an issue of concern, Grand Rapids Community College should be among the initial entities consulted. The 15 state-supported colleges and universities should be waiting in line to claim Grand Rapids Community College graduates as transfer students. I personally have learned more about Grand Rapids Community College in the past 3 months since applying than I had in the past several years. You all are a well-kept secret over here on the western side of the state. Although I knew certain things by looking at comparisons from the state of the 28 community colleges, I know you were the fourth largest, behind Oakland, Macomb, and Lansing community colleges. And I've always known that there's been a lot of quality over here. So keep doing the great job you are doing. Service. Lastly, service. Grand Rapids Community College employees should volunteer their time serving the community that supports the college so well. There should be a Grand Rapids Community College faculty or staff member on every service club and nonprofit organizational board in the area, Chamber of Commerce included. I serve the community in many ways with many organizations. Relationships built in this arena are worth their weight in gold during the millage campaign, and I anticipate that the college will embark on another millage campaign in the not too distant future. I had the question for the board chair at my semifinalist interview about I knew that the college levied 1.9 mils. Of course, that's been reduced by the Headley Amendment down to 1.78. At Oakland Community College, we levy 1.8, but that's been reduced by the tax limitation legislation, the Headley Amendment, if you will, down to 1.58. And in so doing, just that limitation, that property tax limitation, means millions and millions of dollars in property taxes. Oakland County is advantaged by the county. It's a very big county, 910 square miles in Oakland County. So the 1.58 levy millage in Oakland County equates to $96 million as far as our general fund budget of $161 million. And the 1.78 that's levied here in Grand Rapids Community College is about $36 million. Just to give you a comparison of the state equalized valuation and the property values, kind of throughout the state here. You always hear the term, you need to think out of the box. And we do need to think out of the box. But we need to do more than that. We need to take it a step further than that and perform out of the box. So if I'm the one fortunate enough to be named the president CEO here, I'm going to look at a lot of things. I'm going to look at a lot of quality issues. You all are doing a fantastic job. But could the college even do better? I would suggest the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, an outstanding publication. But Grand Rapids Community College has so many things in place. If I'm the one fortunate enough to be named here, Dr. Oliveras did a wonderful job. He's going to be hard to replace. No matter who came here, he's going to be a hard individual to replace. But I would dedicate myself to do the very best job I could, to help the college go from good to great, or great to greater, if you will, here at Grand Rapids Community College. You have a lot going for you, and I wish you well throughout the entirety of this process, and hope we cross paths again at some point. So I'm not sure where I am with the 20 minutes, but I would entertain 2 minutes ago. I would entertain any questions that you might have, or however you want to direct me.
Great. Thank you, Dr. May. At this time, it's the responsibility of the audience now to assist us with questions. So if you could pass some of those questions out to the left with Dr. Lori Chesley and Dr. Hilda, and then Rick and myself will try to answer some of those questions. We do have a couple of those already.
Okay.
You'd like to start with Dr. May. One of the questions that was presented was, what is your experience with shared governance? How do you use staff input in the process of problem solving or initiating change?
Well, with shared governance, it's very important at institutions like Grand Rapids Community College, like Oakland Community College. The very Chancellor's Council or the Chancellor's Cabinet on which I sit, which the Chancellor obviously leads the cabinet, with the 4 campus presidents, of which I am one, the two vice chancellors and three executive directors. That's the chancellor's cabinet plus the chair of the academic senate. So it is a shared governance concept, and we have many of those at Oakland Community College. I started one just shortly after I was named president of Highland Lakes campus, and it was to meet with the OCFA leadership, Oakland Community College Faculty Association, the union for the faculty. The president of the college-wide union happens to be a accounting professor on my campus, and also leads the campus delegation there, if you will, as far as faculty leadership. And so I started monthly meetings with her and the team to try to catch problems when they were molehills and before they grow into really mountains of issues. And the faculty and the staff worked with me quite well there. I did incorporate some changes, and changes are tough, but sometimes change is necessary. Sometimes you might need to evaluate all of the with the continuous quality improvement, the AQUIP concept, that leads itself to an annual review of quality. How much do your programs really matter in the external community? How many jobs are there? Once a person receives an associate degree, or if they're in an occupational program, an associate degree and/or a certificate. So it's good to review the programs. You might need to sunset a program or to discontinue a program. You might need to start a new program with the sustainability issue and with alternate fuels, wind, solar, and the like, to kind of replace some of the manufacturing, some of the 400,000 plus manufacturing jobs that have been lost over the last few years in the state of Michigan.
Thank you very much, Dr. May. Another question. What would be your approach to building partnerships with the business, serve, and educational agencies in the community?
Well, I would meet with the people that, in discussion with the Board of Trustees and discussion with senior management and faculty and the other employee groups. I would meet in the external community with those partners of the current partners of the institution and those that should be partnering with the institution. The most recent one that I've been involved with at Oakland Community College is a partnership in our nursing program with the Detroit Medical Center. Detroit Medical Center has seven hospitals or medical facilities in southeastern Michigan, and everyone from every level is saying how short the big shortage of nursing is going to be in the next several years. How short that profession is right now. The Oakland Community College has a very large nursing program. We have about 600 in our nursing program at any given time, but we still couldn't get them through fast enough. So we went to the table with Detroit Medical Center, and we came out with a partnership that lends itself to them giving us $500,000 a year. They've already hired 2 clinical instructors. We are currently hiring two other full-time instructors, nursing instructors that would be in the more theory side of things in the nursing program. But we need to do more there, and they've come to the table. It's an outstanding partnership, and now Henry Ford Health System is now coming to the table. We have our Dean of Nursing and Health Professions reports directly to me, and that is going well. It's extending ourselves into the community. It is filling a vacuum or a void in the community in the nursing profession. We had 544 students who were ready to go into the nursing program this fall, who had completed all 33 of their prereqs and ready to embark on the 39 credit hours in the formal nursing program. We could only take in the traditional program 220, strictly based on GPA. The lowest GPA among those 220 was 3.612. But with the Detroit Medical Center now focused on the accelerated nursing program for an additional 60 students, and then the GPA went down to in the 280 now. Of the 544, there's still a void there of people that we couldn't take into the program. But the lowest GPA is 3.456, and Detroit Medical Center has guaranteed clinical sites for all of them. They cannot guarantee jobs and placements for them, nor are the students committed to going to work for the DMC. But you know, with that kind of collaboration, that kind of work over the course of a couple of years, that many of them we're looking at future employees of the Detroit Medical Center.
Thank you very much, Dr. May. And thank you, the audience. You've got some wonderful questions here. Rick, are there a couple of questions you'd like to direct to Dr. May, please?
Dr. May, we have several good questions on leadership style, so I'd like to give you a couple of questions around there. If we were to ask the employees at your campus about your leadership style, what would they tell us, and how would they characterize your day-to-day involvement in the work at your campus?
I think that the employees of my campus would say, I'm very open, I'm collaborative, I'm a collaborator, I'm a team member, I have an open door policy. I see people around the campus. I know them. I know more than just the professional side of them. I also know other sides of them, and not just the executive group at the college. But I'm the maintenance, the grounds people are very, very important. The people who work under the campus sometimes in the infrastructure. If you've never been underground on the campus, it's like Disney World. There's more happens underground than happens above the ground. There's the utilities, the data lines, the hot and cold water lines. So I've become aware of all of that. So they would say that I advocate for the campus. I was instrumental in bringing $23 million 5-year facilities master plan to the campus back in 2003. We're almost complete. Two major building additions, but it was a team effort. The lapel button that I wear most often says it takes teamwork, and it surely does. You know, I could a lot of times in these kinds of searches, the board and others are looking for someone who can say, I did this and I did that. But I'm here to tell you that the majority of my accomplishments have come to be because of people believing in my vision, believing in me, owning that vision, and working through that, to make things happen. So things don't, as they say, as one motivational speaker says, things don't just happen. They happen just. So I think you will find, and I invite you to call any one of the 850 employees at Oakland Community College. When I was interviewed by the Grand Rapids Press not long ago, at the end of the interview, the reporter said, "Well, who at the college would you like me to call to ask some questions about you?" And I thought, I said, 850 employees, who should I tell her to call? I said, take your pick. She said, "Oh, I've already done that. I just want to know if there's anyone else you wanted me to call." So I think those are some of the descriptors that would be used about me and my leadership style.
Well, let me follow up with a second question about leadership then. What is the most innovative initiative that you have personally led, and what was the outcome of that initiative?
I'm going to go back to what I just said about our 5-year, $23 million campus master facilities plan. There was a lot of work that had gone into that before I arrived, but a lot of work happened on my clock too, if you will. And so on May 19th of 2003, I reduced the volume of work that had gone on from every employee group at the college to build this plan into a 3.5-page executive summary, which I presented to the Board of Trustees that night. It's not common at Oakland Community College, nor probably at a lot of community colleges or other institutions of higher learning, that a project with that magnitude will come to a board and them not say, we need more information, let's talk about this for another month or two, bring us more data, more information, and we might take action at the next board meeting or a subsequent board meeting. Well, that particular night, one of our board members said, let's not, this is well thought out, this is a great plan, let's move this. And then 6 others said the same. So that was one of my great days at Oakland Community College, May 19th, 2003, unanimous support from our 7 publicly elected members of the Board of Trustees to support the plan.
Thank you.
Dr. May, and again, there's some really great questions here. I apologize if we don't get a chance to ask all of them this afternoon. This one kind of has come up in the prior forum, so it's a very relevant question.
Sure.
Describe a college-wide crisis that you have been involved in. What decisions did you make that led to that decision? Was it handled successfully? And if you could, what would you have done differently or changed?
I think a college-wide crisis at Open Community College was really one of our, not our current strategic plan, but a prior strategic plan. It was basically a plan on paper, and it was not actualized. It was not implemented, and we all took some responsibility there. You know, it wasn't one person. It wasn't the person that was leading the strategic planning initiative. It wasn't the board of trustees who effectively owned the strategic plan. It was all of us. So we regrouped around that, myself included, and said let's build something meaningful that we can you know, through the direction of the board of trustees. The board of trustees sets the direction, and then it's up to the chancellor, the president, the CEO, if you will, and his or her team to decide on the direction, you know, to decide on the path to get to that direction. So that was a major one. A real wake-up call was that failed millage election, as I'm sure you all have gone through. But ours failed much more than the mere 373 votes that your millage election, where you were looking for a 0.49 of a mill here recently.
Dr. Olson?
I have two questions on diversity that I'd like to sort of try to combine here. Would you share with us your work with various minority groups? And one of the questions specifically talks about the Hispanic and Latino population. With various minority groups, both on campus and off campus. And tell us about your most successful partnership that you were personally involved with on behalf of the college and other parts of the minority communities.
Okay, two diversity initiatives that I've had intimate involvement with. One is the Greater Pontiac Community Coalition, which I was in the ground floor that we helped start this initiative, and it wasn't strictly minority, but it was a lot of minorities right in downtown Pontiac, bringing a lot of people together for a common goal. I was chair of the Pontiac Area Urban League for a number of years, and when then Mayor Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer was inaugurated, I sent him a letter. We had our 44th anniversary coming up, and I didn't know him. I talked to him a couple of times. I really didn't know Mayor Archer, but said, we want to have our annual fundraiser in the month of May. Please give us your availability for any date in May, and we will target our fundraiser around your availability. Well, he didn't personally get back to me, but one of his assistants did. And he, make a long story short, he came. It was the biggest fundraiser in the 44-year history of the Pontiac Area Urban League, and I got to know him, that evening better than I knew him in the past. There was a task force in Birmingham Bloomfield called the Birmingham Bloomfield Task Force on race relations and ethnic diversity, and I was participated in that group on behalf of the college for a number of years. In the Hispanic or the Latino community, there's about 6,000 Hispanics or Latinos that reside in and around Pontiac. They would have a festival every year in downtown, an ethnic festival down in downtown Pontiac. I was one of the supporters. Working along with that. With organizations, within the Hispanic community, the Commission on Spanish-Speaking Affairs, and I had built some lasting relationships and some friends for the college in a lot of those communities. So if given the opportunity here at Grand Rapids Community College, I would reach into all of the communities, to gain friendships and partnerships on behalf of the college. We are strengthened by diversity. As I said earlier, we have more in common than we have things that divide us. So there's and very happy to see that there's seemingly a lot of diversity right here at Grand Rapids Community College. The students that I met with today, each of the forums so far, and inclusive of this general forum, it's good to see. It doesn't happen everywhere. There's a number of times in Oakland County where I'm the only African American at a particular meeting. There's times in Waterford Township where our campus resides where I'm the only African American at a particular meeting. There was a Chamber of Commerce dinner where I was given some recognition recently for the 25-year relationship with our campus, and I'm the only African American there. So there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of building to do in our various communities, but there is certainly strength in diversity. We can learn a lot from each other.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. May.
Yes.
This question is related to technology. Technology.
Okay.
It's like when you sell real estate, location.
Right.
Could you describe with us your experience in the use of technology, purchasing decisions around technology, your vision for technology and its use at community colleges in the future?
Yes. Just a few years ago, I was the administrative chair of the Technology Management Committee at Oakland Community College, the college-wide committee. There was a faculty co-chair as well. And it was a wonderful committee where we reviewed the equipment that was in our classrooms, looking to have all of our classrooms technology enhanced. So any instructor that goes into any of the classrooms, would have that type of technology available. We researched a lot of software. We researched. This was prior to the Michigan Community College Virtual Collaborative. Came into being, the collaborative for distance learning throughout the 28 colleges, community colleges in the state of Michigan. So we reviewed some course management systems. There are two course management systems that have been adopted by the Michigan Community College Virtual Learning Collaboratives. That's Blackboard. That's your core course management system here. There's also Compass Educator as well. And we also looked at a third one, which was cost prohibitive for us to go there. Some institutions that teach a lot online, a lot more than we do. About 16% of our students are taking some online courses or some level of internet enhanced or hybrid course, if you will, at the college. But some of the more aggressive colleges and universities who are teaching online, Michigan State being one, as a matter of fact, they have a course management system called Angel. It was a little cost prohibitive for us to go to, and that stands for a new global environment for learning. And so I've had some significant experiences with technology management and in purchasing decisions for the type of equipment. So I guess that's how I would answer that question on the technology. It can always do more and know more from. But there's quite a demand for online courses now. There's quite a demand for online degrees. We're just short of that at Oakland Community College. One course short, but you have to appeal to the Higher Learning Commission for a change of designation in order to make that happen. But that's the future, especially with $4 $4 gas, $4 for a gallon of gas. You're going to see more and more people wanting to take some classes online. All classes are not conducive to online instruction, but many of them are.
This question is around your experience with union bargaining. What experience do you have working in an environment with unions and associations and at-will employees, working in collaborative and collective bargaining environments?
Well, at Oakland Community College, we have 6 employee groups. Of the 850 employees, all but about 65 or so are in a collective bargaining unit. And those 65 are the chancellor, the chancellor's cabinet, if you will, the senior level executives for the college, the human resources department, institutional research department, and the IT department. Other than that, everyone is in a union. And about six years ago, the managers and directors and the highest ranking of that employee group the academic deans at the college, deans of academic and student services. They organized into a Teamster, the Teamsters Union. At the time, I really didn't know there was a professional arm of the Teamsters. I worked in when I was in private industry and in trucking industry management, of course, it was the Brotherhood of Teamsters, obviously the Teamsters Union. But I didn't know that arm of the union is over 30 years old. It took a while to get to an agreement on with that particular union. Being a new union coming to the college, I was on the bargaining committee, on the administrative side of the committee for that. We have to, as a cabinet, we have to have meetings. We review, each of the collective bargaining agreements, before the time comes to come to the table, and make sure that we get the information to those who are going to be at the table about what possibly needs to be changed, to enhance the effectiveness of the institution. So that's probably been my experience to date in collective bargaining.
I think part of that question deals with the at-will employees. So perhaps the question is, how does your interaction change with that group of individual at-will employees as opposed to those that are under contract?
It doesn't change at all. Does not change at all. That's the environment that we work in. We have to make the very most productivity of that, and we're all when it comes down to it, we're all employees of the same institution. If we don't get accreditation, for example, we all suffer from it. An institution without an accreditation is like a car without an engine. So you have to have that. An institution without a faculty unit or without any of our units wouldn't be. People come to the community college and any college for the instruction. The more invisible everyone else is, to the particular student, the better. So, but when we start becoming more visible, there a lot of times there are more issues related to that, those interactions and activity.
Thank you.
Dr. May, in the state facing economic challenges, what do you see as the role of the liberal arts college, the liberal arts academic area at a community college?
Well, the liberal arts area of a community college should always remain very well supported. That's what, more than 50% of our students are coming here for liberal arts instruction for their first 2 years of a 4-year collegiate experience, and so that they can go on to their other goals once they leave our institution. So a community college that's one of the major components of a comprehensive community college is a liberal arts transfer. And if you don't provide that, you might as well be the car without the engine. You're not going to do well or go far.
Next question is, what were the top reasons that made you interested in applying for this position?
The top reasons, Grand Rapids Community College is an outstanding institution. It's a quality institution, as evidenced by the awards we received and all. I've viewed Grand Rapids Community College from afar. One of my former chancellors, Patsy Fulton, married then president here, Dick Coffers. I was at the wedding, but we didn't have time to come to the campus at the time. That was my only visit to Grand Rapids, and over the years. But it's an outstanding institution. It represents the next level for me. I'm currently a campus president, and I've done very well in my career, over 21 years in the community college and 15 years actually retired from private industry. After 15 years, have had the teaching component that I mentioned, but I believe that I have prepared myself for the next level. I defended my dissertation 3 years ago in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies at Wayne State University. A big day for myself and my family. Our oldest daughter and my wife were able to attend my dissertation, at least my presentation part of it, and then the chair excused all the visitors, and it was just me and them for their questioning of me about my research. But my research is current. It's only 3 years old. It's not like I received this and did this research 30 years ago. And so when institutional research puts something forward or they have a study or whatever, I'm pretty knowledgeable about that. I had 17 credits in statistics. There's one credit shy of being able to teach statistics at Oakland Community College. Not that I would dare want to teach statistics at all. I like teaching what I am teaching in the educational leadership realm at Oakland University right now. But those are some of the reasons. It represents the next step for me. It's the next logical step for me to be a president, chief executive officer, or chancellor at one of the 1,173 community colleges throughout the United States. I would love to stay in Michigan. We've been in Michigan for many years. My wife is an educational counselor at Oakland Community College Auburn Hills campus, and she's just 4 years shy of her retirement. I'm 58. I've got many more years to work, and I would like to work those years as a chief executive officer, reporting directly to a board of trustees. Although I've worked closely with the board of trustees, Trustee James, I see you right there. I've worked closely with the board of trustees over the years, but I like to, and I'm familiar with that Carver model of policy governance. I like that. There's only 4 community colleges in the state that are into that. Oakland Community College is not one of the 4. Grand Rapids Community College certainly is, and that's where the board sets the direction for the institution, and everything else is remanded to the chief executive officer and his or her staff to chart the path to get there. They will set limitations within that model. What the CEO cannot do. That might be a monetary, it might be anything $20,000, or in our case, Oakland Community College, $25,000. That has to come to the board. So at each board meeting, there should be some statement, if you will, about any breaches of any CEO limitations within that Carver model of policy governance. So for those reasons and more, I'm a candidate. I'm very appreciative of being in the final 3, and I hope I'm the selection.
Thank you, Dr. May. Rick, do you have any?
I have 3 questions left, but I think you've at least touched on the answers to all 3.
Right. The only other question I've had is around sustainability.
Okay.
Dr. May, the question presented is your experience that you have had with green sustainability systems, primarily around new building construction and in the teaching classroom itself.
Okay. We are at our campus are a green campus. We're a green campus, and the building additions that we have are both lead buildings. So all of that sustainability network, if you will, is at play in our 2 building additions. One, $11.8 million structure for all of our student services, one-stop student services, if you will. It also has administrative offices, the faculty offices, and some others. And the other, an $8.6 million structure for our nursing, medical assisting, and dental hygiene programs. So beautiful. I just really feel good about those 2 building additions. The second of which was named after a deceased trustee who died in office, and the building is named after her. Only the second trustee in the history of the college to die in office. So sustainability and alternate fuels and all of that. That's where we're going, and that's where a lot of the jobs are going to be. The 400,000 manufacturing jobs are possibly gone for good. So we're going to have to replace those with some other areas, be they emerging technologies or alternate fuels.
Thank you very much, Dr. May, and thank you for your questions. And again, as Dr. also indicated, we didn't get a chance to answer all of them, but hopefully we get a chance to touch on a few of those as we categorize those. Dr. May, we've got a few minutes left here for the conclusion of the forum. Would you like to leave us with some parting words for the audience?
Well, I guess I would say I'm one who likes quotes. So whether or not I get this job, if you see a quote that you like a lot, send it to me. Our 2003 alumnus, distinguished alumnus, will take flight on October 8th as an astronaut. His name is Dr. Andrew Fustel. Started at the community college. There's so many stories. The chief executive officer of Remax International, largest realty company in the world. The CEO and her family, she and her family, reside in Denver, Colorado. She's a Oakland Community College graduate, and it just goes on. And I'm sure Grand Rapids Community College has those kinds of success stories too. A success story that I was intimately involved with was a scholarship that I started for the college for Pontiac high school graduates to matriculate on to Oakland Community College, tuition free. Started off very, very small. It's now an endowed scholarship, and in 26 students have matriculated on through there and gone on to get their bachelor's degrees, the first of which I will never forget, a young man by the name of Tony Kauser. I first met him as a junior at Pontiac Central High School. And I told Tony that, we're starting this scholarship fund. We're going to have a pancake breakfast, and invited a lot of people to participate, from the board members on down. Every employee group came and made the pancakes, but it wasn't what we did there, although that was a good community building and good public relations for the college. All the contributions over and above the cost of that breakfast went straight to the foundation for scholarships in the Pontiac Center Community Scholarship. Well, this young man, I told him that when we gave him the scholarship, we could only guarantee 1 year. But I said, Tony, if you maintain a 2.8 GPA through your first year at Oakland Community College, if we don't have enough money in the fund, I will fund your second year at Oakland Community College. And so he said, Mr. May, well, you better get me the money, because I'm going to certainly have a 2.8 GPA. 2 short years later, he graduated with a 3.8, summa cum laude, transferred to Wayne State University on a transfer scholarship for community colleges. Graduated in mid-December. It was a winter commencement, and I'll never forget, it was a cold winter night. And I talking to my wife, I said, well, we should go. Oh, are we going to go? We should go to his commencement. I said, we better go. We've been involved with this young man for quite a while now. We went, and thank goodness we did. Only one uncle from Ann Arbor was there for him. So now his story, he has gone on. He got graduated with a very good GPA from Wayne State, started to work for Bozell Advertising Worldwide, worked for Campbell Ewald, went to California, was working in the it was an advertising group there, maybe called the Design Shop or the Designer Group, and started working in the new business section of that. And said after 3 or 4 years working in new business, said, I can start a business. Left that area, and he was doing quite well, and started a clothing wear company for Hispanics. He's of Puerto Rican descent. His real name is Antonio Kauser, and so he has a company now called Guapo Wear. And Guapo in Spanish is beautiful. And started off with a line of clothes for men and the women at UCLA and the other colleges around there. Said we got to have some women to wear it too. So now he's going to be a self-made millionaire. He was the first recipient of that scholarship. I thank you. Look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Knight.
Thank you.